Hey everybody, Doctor here, and welcome back to Assetto Corsa, working through the career mode. We still have 2 races left here in the Formula Abarth Trofeo, which we've pretty much already wrapped up. We completed the series goal, and we're sitting 5th in points. A little bit room to move up. We'll see if we can possibly move up a couple positions. I consider actually skipping these races because we've already wrapped up the championship. We wrapped up the series goal. We haven't necessarily wrapped up the championship. But I've decided to go ahead and work through these two, try and get better results. We've actually been improving. We got a 2nd place at Silverstone with our new settings and such, so we'll see if we can continue that on to Monza. And I want to talk about the weekend that I just got through at Rolex and tell you some stories and just some overall thoughts about the weekend. So that's what we're going to do this episode. Let's get to the track. Alrighty, so Monza, one of my favorites. Let's see, the setup we're going to need, I think, probably go for a little bit more of a top speed setup. So let's see, we have a little gearing left in this car, but I don't find that it usually will use it. So even though we can increase this to a 25 or 22, then it'll give us more top speed. The car kind of flattens out at the top end, so it might not be worthwhile. Let's go down. Not too crazy. We've had some fuel issues in the past, so we'll just bring it down to 18. And I think we're going to run 5 and 5. There's chicane here that are super slow. There's Parabolica, which is the only high downforce needed turn. So I think that should be a decent balance. But I am going to put a lot of front bar in it to try and tighten it up, since we are going to be running low aero. Alright, so let's get ourselves a nice start here. Braking zone's going to be pretty crazy. Let's try to get to the inside if possible. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Because I don't really know when they're going to brake. I don't really know where I'm going to brake. A little bit of lockup. Luckily it was clear to the left of me, so that worked out pretty well. And we moved up to 3rd place. It's going to be pivotal to stay in the draft here. The chicane's really neutered this track from being the super fast drafty track that it once was, but there's still plenty of opportunity to draft here. Just got out of the car in iRacing doing practice. I did a little live stream there that I will be doing more of in the future. It's one thing that is on my bucket list for 2015 is to really focus on doing more live streaming, especially in that format with a real relaxed, no goals in mind, just running laps and stuff like that. That was fun, but now to hop into one of these cars in a completely different sim hopefully won't mess me up too much. Ooh, car had a lot of rear tire lockup there on the brakes. I'll have to keep that in mind as we go here. I feel like there may be, yeah, there's still somebody up with me. Not getting a whole lot of my, oh yeah, car is very skaty on the brakes. Not getting a lot of my Daytona talk in here. Hopefully things open up a little bit. I have a feeling they will. I just need to get my feel for the track back. Okay, don't really have a good braking mark just yet. I'm going to try this one. That was one too early. They're so terrible on the brakes that hopefully it won't matter. Don't think I got back to the gas quite soon enough there. You know, I really don't have any problems with this car. I do enjoy the way it drives, which is why I was so looking forward to this series, but I want to get more if it wasn't doing that weird rotating on the brakes, but yeah, I was really looking forward to this series because my past experiences with this car have been very positive. Doing alright here. I feel like I'm hanging with those two. Yeah, we're staying pretty much lockstep with him behind us. The mirrors, I don't see him at all in these mirrors. I wish they were pointed in a little bit more. Which would be nice. Like, this is where we had that big oversteer moment. Not so much this lap. Gotta watch these curbs though. They are killers. Alright, now we're getting a gap. Alrighty, so maybe I have a little bit of a chance to talk now. So, me and my brother, that you know as Ducks, did our yearly trip to Daytona. Let's go watch the IMSA Rolex 24-hour race. We're there for the whole thing, Thursday through Sunday. So if you don't know much about the series, it is the combination of Grand Am and ALMS. It's kind of new, but this year they have really kind of improved the series a lot, I think. It last year had a lot of officiating problems, and the caution periods were just extremely long. It's still not perfect, but it was better than last year. The racing was great. The competition was pretty good. I always pick some favorites, but I don't really... Whoa! That hurt. That hurt a lot. That is something, to change subjects real quick, that is something that has been patched recently. The cars now bottom out much more significantly than they did before. Apparently there was a bug where the cars were not bottoming out at all, basically. So we did hear the car scraping against the ground there. Seems like we didn't take any suspension damage, so we're okay. Oh, yeah. Let's see. For the Continental Series, which is basically entry-level pro road racing, if you will. So these are stock-bodied cars that have been converted to race cars, but mostly only in the way that they have upgraded suspension, racing slicks, and safety improvements. Other than that, they're the same cars as you buy off the showroom floor. There's one team in particular I follow in that series, and that is Compass 360 Racing. They compete with Honda Civics in the ST class, which is the slower one. And they have a Subaru WRX STI as their GS car, which is the faster class. And that's just a really cool car because not many people road race them. It's always been a struggle. They have fought all of the issues that Subarus kind of have with some of their reliability problems. Don't hate me, Subaru people, but you know it's true. But the car is really fun to watch. They have an awesome driver in there, Pierre Kleinewing, who is an extremely talented driver. Unfortunately, they had problems in the race, so the car didn't make it to the end, so that's how that went. And then for Rolex, I was pulling for the Delta Wing, which is a very polarizing car. People like our very own Jolo absolutely hate that car, and I think it's really cool. I love to see the innovation. That's what we're missing out of the modern prototype format. There's not a whole lot of innovation. There's not a lot of people trying crazy new things. It's all about spec racing basically anymore. If I wanted to watch spec racing, I'd watch Spec Miata, which is on 1,000th of the budget. I really enjoy seeing these bizarre, cool ideas like Delta Wing. That car was coming in with a new gearbox configuration because they had struggled with the reliability of the gearbox all last season. They also came in with a very different aero package, very low downforce. The car was awesomely fast. Scary to watch though. Just all over the place. Looked like it wasn't even connected to the road at times. But didn't get hardly any practice. Two of the drivers in the car didn't even get any practice before the race. And then race start, they started 5th, and I think they moved up to 4th, 3rd. And about an hour in, gearbox failure once again. So that was the story of the Delta Wing for the race. Other than that, there was new LMP2 cars competing in the prototype class. Whoops! I knew that braking was going to bite me. Okay, there was that bottoming out I was talking about. Car riding on the ground. Okay, there goes our 3rd, now down to 5th. Trying to make up some of that. Oh, it stinks. Where was I? These races kind of don't matter, so that's why I figured I would do just a little bit of talking. Michael Shank had a new LMP2 car that looked really sharp. Krone Racing had one. I was kind of hoping one of those teams would really do well, because last year the balance, what they call balance performance of the cars was not great. And those cars were really struggling to keep up with the pre-existing Daytona prototypes. So yeah, I was really hoping for one of those cars to do well. And the Shank car was fast. They were fastest in all the practice sessions. But when it came to the race, the car just didn't seem to have the same pace that it had. I don't know what it was. But eventually, it also, like 20 hours in, had mechanical issues. That could have been the underlying issue why they didn't have any pace in the race. I don't know. So yeah, that was a bummer. Looks like I've got maybe a little bit of suspension damage. My wheel's a little off-center. There's other classes though. There is GTLM. I don't really have a favorite in GTLM because the factory SRT Dodge team pulled out. Corvette Racing pretty much laid waste to that division after having one of the best races of the field for about the first half. There was really good competition between all three makes, BMW, Porsche, and the Corvettes. Sorry, trying not to blow this braking zone again. But I blew it on the exit anyway. Yeah, they had really good competition throughout, and then pretty much midway, 3/4 of the way through the race, the two Porsches took each other out, which was pretty heartbreaking for them because they were having a great race, and it was just a racing incident. One car got into the grass trying to pass one of the slower cars. It's part of endurance racing, it's part of this kind of racing with different classes. It happens. Then we have GTD, which I do have a favorite in. The Riley organization that built the SRT Dodge Vipers last year decided that without factory backing they would run the cars. So I was pulling for them. They had two cars, and the 33 did have problems, but the 93 pulled through the race and did get a victory, so I was very excited about that. And they're a pretty cool team. Boy, I'm struggling with the brakes on this car. I've not... Yep, everybody just follow me. I've not really had problems with it. Having so much oversteer on the braking. Hold this position. But other than that, there's also Prototype Challenge. Again, I don't really have any favorites in that class. I just kind of pay attention to them. I watch for interesting battles, but there's no really favorite teams, and those are true spec cars. So I didn't really know any of the drivers in those cars. I didn't know teams, so I just kind of let that one slide. Oh, hey, we're done. 5th place. All right, move on to the next one. We'll continue. Okay, that's cool. What a way to end. Just spin me straight out. All right, here we go with Spa. This one's going to be a challenge, especially for this car. I am almost tempted to maybe throw a little bit more downforce on it, but I don't think that would be good for that huge long back straightaway. Let's only go down to 20. This is the long track for 6 laps. I'm going to put a little bit more camber in it. Try and put a little bit more front camber. It's already pretty aggressive, but I feel as though it's having some mid-turn scrub. Brake bias, I don't think that was a brake bias issue. I think that was just the low downforce giving it that skatey feeling on brakes. So we'll leave that as is, and I think that's what we're gonna run. We'll see how it goes. I'm again just gonna be talking about Daytona, so the result is somewhat irrelevant. I will wait till we get the start in, though. There we go. We are on the inside here. Let's see what we do down into turn 1. Well, we avoided contact, so that's a good thing. Let's see how we do down to Eau Rouge. We're not really in drafting position. Another track, I probably should have put more gear in it. We're going to listen for it bottoming out, because that is, like I said, been fixed, so it's something we have to pay attention to. Looks like we gained some through there. Let's see if our advanced drafting helps any. These cars are kind of maxed out here, so it's not doing a whole lot. Feels really good so far. I gotta stay off those. Oh, there was the sound. Well, that's cool. I'm glad they fixed that. I am also really glad that they are so diligent about keeping up with patches and stuff like that. I know I have a lot of complaints about the game. A lot of the community does, especially when it comes to the AI and that kind of stuff. But they really do seem like they actually care about the game, so they're constantly trying to fix things. It's been stated that the AI is one of their top concerns right now. They want to try and get them back into shape. So they are trying. They are trying to make it better. That's all I ask for. Even as it is, it's still worth the investment. Still, I don't feel like I got gypped or anything. So if they just keep making it better, it can only make it a better game. I think we're going to be within drafting range here. So one of the things I want to cover, now that I've kind of covered how the people I was pulling for in the race did, is if any of you watching have ever attended a sports car race or just a race in general, I would highly suggest it. Even if you think, I watch it on TV, that's good enough, you really need to experience it in person. And I don't just mean like a short track race, those are cool and everything, but if you really like cars, even if you don't know much about sports car racing, oof, I like having that sound effect. I really think there's a lot of value in experiencing those kind of cars in person. It really makes you appreciate it much more. I was not nearly as big of a fan of sports car racing as I am now before I started going to Rolex and just in general sports car racing races. Just being there, it's such a different atmosphere than you might expect. You can just roll through the garages, and if you are of the right kind of personality that I am not, you could go up to crewmen and just ask, what is that on the car? How do you do this on the car? Why is the car leaking that fluid right now? And they'll answer you. And you can go up and get right up on the car, look in it, and really kind of experience it in a much different way than people, I think, anticipate what it's going to be like there. But if you don't try and do that, if you just sit there and watch the cars go by, it's not the best experience in the world. You have to get into it. You have to explore it. It's really like when we go there, it's like a scavenger hunt trying to find the cool spots. After 7 years of going there, we pretty much have our locations where we like to be and our patterns. But those first 2 or 3 years of learning that stuff and finding all the cool places to be and figuring out that we could go into the garage and stuff really kind of shaped the teams that we pulled for, just based on how the people were. And yeah, you can see what a team is like in the shape of 24 hours of being around them. You learn to pull for people, and that's when you really start to enjoy this series. That's when you start to enjoy that style of racing, is when you start forming those teams that you pull for. I don't think in that form of racing that you're going to get that just off of watching it on TV. I don't think you're going to make those kind of relationships with a team, with a driver, with a car, just based off of watching it on TV. F1, maybe you can do that. NASCAR, you can definitely do that. Those cars are all the friggin' same, and the drivers' personalities are always pushed in your face, so you're going to be able to make favorites and choose favorites based off of that. Sports car racing, pro SCCA racing, anything like that, you gotta be there. You gotta experience it to really kind of shape your feelings towards it. Maybe you'll hate it. Maybe it's still boring to you when you go there, but I think you're doing yourself an injustice if you don't try and go there in person. I think it might actually be time to shut up and drive for a little bit here as I try to make a race out of Chickamauer. I am absolutely loving the way the car is handling around this track right now. Not getting into that weird brake oversteer. Just looking the center of these turns really well, even if I do wash apexes. There was some oversteer. I'm still not getting the big draft effect. I would actually say I need to turn the slipstream effect up even more. Because right now I'm not feeling anything. Now I'm not super close to him, but I have been pretty close to him before. And I wasn't getting pretty much anything. Hanging up on him like this, we're gonna find our way past him eventually. It's a good lap. Oh, I'm glad we're gonna make our race out of this series yet. We have had a couple good races. It hasn't been all bad. I think the single make series are what kind of shows the game's AI weakness, though. When there's no discrepancy between the cars, you can really see that the AI are not acting quite human enough. They're acting much too robotic. They're making the same exact lap times every lap. They're not reacting to the player car at all. So that would be where I think the improvements probably need to be focused on to make this style of racing better. Came to the series with different style cars. You could use your car's advantages and disadvantages to kind of close those gaps. Alright, we are right up on him now. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a pull. This is not where we want it. But she's going to run wide onto this curb. Yep, see, he takes the same exact lines every lap. I just need to figure out where mine's better and try to take advantage of that. That's pretty good. We are significantly closer this time than we were last lap. So let's see if this draft gets us by him down this long straightaway. It's not really straight, but for this car, it might as well be. Well, we are definitely getting a pull. You can see the delta is dropping significant. How are we going to get there? I don't know. Well, we might. I'll break myself a little, but I think I can shut him down. Yeah. Perfectly executed. Alright, well, it's clean sailing from here. Let's not throw it into turn 1. Alright. Get a drink. I've been recording up a storm today. I think I've recorded 5 or 6 hours worth of stuff today. Well, including the streaming. So, my throat is kind of tore up right now. I was feeling inspired. I do want to thank everybody for the support. It's been a rough start to the year, YouTube-wise. Just trying to get back into the rhythm of things, and I know I have a lot of cool stuff on the horizon, but at the moment I'm just kind of sticking with what I've always been doing. I have a lot of long-standing series going right now, and that's not been the case for my channel in the past. Usually I'm changing things up pretty constantly. But it has been fun to have these kind of evolving series. I am really glad to get back into the rhythm of things, though. Oof, stay off that curb, though. And I'm glad you guys are sticking around. Strangely enough, the first episode of this series became one of my most viewed ever, way after the fact. I hadn't even realized it. Like, you know, the first week it got decent views and support and stuff. And then I went back and checked just last week, and it was like over 1,000 views. And how did that happen? Well, apparently, when people go to search for career mode Assetto Corsa, this is pretty much one of the only LPs of it out there. There's a lot of people that play through it, but they don't do commentary. They don't continue it. So if you are here because of this series, welcome and thank you for joining. I know it's been a little wonky here and there. I know 2 episodes ago when we had all of our incidents in this series, I kind of thought maybe it wasn't worth continuing. I've kind of just refocused on it, have fun with it. I leave all the serious racing to iRacing, leave the fun, kind of lighthearted stuff to Assetto Corsa. I think that's the right way to approach it. I've also been really itching to do more in real life video stuff, and I don't mean just the vlog stuff. That's just something that I do for pure fun and entertainment on my part. That's not really serious stuff. I really want to do more serious, like, in real life video. If you've been around a while, you know I did some promos and stuff for he's come back with a vengeance, hasn't he? For the Spec Miata team that I work with. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. It was the first time I've ever done a video of that sort. If I could go back and do it again, there's a lot I would do different. But yeah, I want to do more of that kind of stuff. I've really been... Whoa! How to save a car at 110 miles an hour, 200. 101. And look at him, he didn't even pass me. Do you think there's something wrong with the AI? When they don't even pass you? When you're going 10 miles an hour? Okay, sorry, just continue on. Chin up. It is what it is. What was I saying? Anyway. Oh yeah, the like that promo video. I've almost been considering maybe doing a second channel just for that kind of stuff, because I feel weird promoting those kind of videos and then Oh, by the way, here's a Minecraft video. That feels a little strange. But I don't want to take it away from the people that have been supporting this channel for so long and just kind of like strip those videos away from them. That's what it would feel like to me. So, I don't know, kind of torn in that regard. I do want to do more of that stuff in the future. I think we are about to finish this race. This might be a little bit shorter of an episode, but I wanted to finish this series out. I wanted to talk about Daytona. I think we were successful in that regard. I need to rest my voice. I will see you next week with a new series. Actually, let me go into the main game and record a little bit of that too. So, see you in a second. Okie dokie, we are going to get a series achieved, series goal achieved. And then if we continue, I would like to see where we finished in points. Is why the main reason I wanted to come back here. We did end up in 5th. Alright, well that's not too bad. Right in the middle. And our series goal was 40 points. So we only needed to come in, what, 7th place? I would think a better series goal, or a better way to do these would be like, get up 60 points for bronze, 80 points for silver, or actually probably 60 points for bronze, 100 points for silver, and then win the championship for gold. That would probably be a little bit more of an interesting system, but I do like the championship style format more than the single races in the end. So there is that. But next up we do have another Trofeo, and this time in the 599XX, which is going to be a completely different car. A GT style road car basically, and we'll see how that goes. So thanks everybody for watching. We'll come back to these kind of cars next week, and I'll see you then.